The marketplace of Zifren 7 buzzed with the chaotic energy of 1,000 worlds converging. Holographic vendors hawked their wares in 17 different languages, while the air shimmered with the scent of exotic spices and ozone from faulty gravity regulators. Finch walked through the crowd with the confidence of someone who had seen 100 such markets across the galaxy. He was human, and that alone made him a curiosity here. Humans were still relatively new to the galactic community. Having achieved faster-than-light travel only 3 generations ago, most species viewed them with a mixture of amusement and concern to aggressive, too curious, too reckless. Finch didn't care. He was a mathematician, a problem-solver hired by the Galactic Council to crack the Tessalon equation, a mathematical puzzle that had stumped the greatest minds of the galaxy for millennia. The equation promised to unlock instantaneous communication across any distance, rendering the current quantum relay systems obsolete. Whoever solved it would reshape galactic civilization. He had been working on it for 2 years, and today, he was certain he had the answer. As he walked, reviewing the calculations on his neural interface, a figure shuffled into his path. Frozen was her name, though Finch wouldn't learn that until later. She was wrapped in tattered robes that had once been vibrant but were now faded to a dull gray. Her species was Keltharian 6-fingered hands, eyes that saw in spectrums humans couldn't comprehend, and a reputation for once being great navigators before their homeworld fell to ecological collapse. Now, Keltharians were scattered across the galaxy, most reduced to begging or menial labor. Please, kind traveler. Frozen's voice was hoarse, her universal translator crackling with age. Spare something for an old wanderer. Finch barely glanced at her, his mind still swimming in mathematical abstractions. He reached into his pocket and tossed a few credit chips her way without breaking stride. Your calculations are wrong, she said quietly. Finch stopped mid-step. He turned slowly, his expression a mixture of confusion and irritation. What did you say? Frozen's eyes, 3 of them visible beneath her hood, fixed on him with an intensity that made him uncomfortable. The Tessalon equation, your approach, it's wrong. You're treating it as a closed system, but it's not. It breathes. Finch felt a cold shock run through him. The Tessalon equation was classified. Only a handful of people in the galaxy even knew he was working on it. He laughed, a short, incredulous bark that drew stares from nearby vendors. Lady, I don't know what game you're playing, but the 4th dimensional fold collapses at point sigma 7. If you maintain your current trajectory, you'll think you've succeeded, but the first transmission will create a cascade failure that will destroy 3 relay stations and kill approximately 400 sentients. The specificity of her statement froze him. That was exactly the configuration he'd finalized this morning. He hadn't shared it with anyone yet. How could you possibly? But Frozen had already turned away, shuffling back into the crowd, her robes trailing in the artificial wind created by the ventilation systems. Finch stood there for a long moment, his mind racing. Then he did something he never thought he'd do. He ran after a beggar. It took him 3 hours to find her again. She was in the lower levels of the marketplace, where the desperate and forgotten gathered. Finch approached carefully this time, his earlier arrogance replaced with curiosity. Who are you? He asked. Frozen looked up from where she sat against a durasteel wall. Just an old beggar. No one just knows about the Tessalon equation. The mathematics alone require 17 years of advanced study, access to quantum computing arrays, and an understanding of multidimensional topology that most species can't even perceive. Frozen's voice carried a hint of bitter amusement. Yes, I know. Finch sat down beside her, ignoring the grime. You're a mathematician. I was. Before my world died, I was the head navigator for the Keltharian exploratory fleet. We didn't need your equations, we felt the cosmos, understood its rhythms instinctively. But when the blight came, when our world withered, most of us lost that connection. I was one of the lucky ones. I kept fragments of it. Then why are you here? Why are you begging instead of because no one wants a has-been from a dead species? She said flatly. The council interviewed me once, years ago, but humans weren't part of the community yet, and the other species, they prefer their own. A beggar can at least survive. A rejected expert starves. Finch felt something twist in his chest. Shame, perhaps, or recognition of an injustice he'd been too blind to see. Show me, he said. Show me where I went wrong. Frozen studied him for a long moment, then nodded. They worked through the night in Finch's cramped hotel room. Frozen's approach was unlike anything he'd encountered. She didn't work through the mathematics linearly, but rather felt her way through it, describing the equation as a living thing with moods and rhythms. At first, Finch struggled to translate her intuitive understanding into formal notation, but gradually, he began to see what she meant. The Tessalon equation wasn't a lock to be picked, but a song to be harmonized with. When they finally solved, it truly solved it. The dawn was breaking over Zifrin 7's artificial sky. The solution was elegant, safe, and revolutionary. Finch looked at Frozen, seeing her clearly for the first time. You'll share credit for this, 50-50. And I'm getting you reinstated with the council. Frozen's laugh was unexpected, full, and genuine. Humans, she said, shaking her head. So quick to right wrongs once you notice them. So dangerously blind until you do. Is that a yes? It's a yes, she said. But Finch, remember this. There are thousands more like me out here. Brilliant. Minds discarded by a galaxy that values pedigree over potential. Your species is new enough to see that. Don't forget it as you grow older in the stars. Finch nodded solemnly. He wouldn't forget. After all, humans were good at learning from their mistakes eventually.